not to like mug you or anything, but I need to know where these are from. And she like, sometimes she just gets off topic and stuff like that. So I was like, where are these from? And she's like, oh yeah, an area around where my parents live. I'm like, where do your parents live?
Where are your parents from? I need to know this now.
Long story short, I did not get to find out where those cookies are from. So I've been like on a rampage, like going around the bakeries around here.
Post a picture on like Reddit or something, I bet.
Ooh, of the cookie? I didn't take a picture of the cookie.
What kind of cookie was it?
It was like a sugar cookie, and it was like a little bit crumbly. Like when you bit into it, you had to like, you know, like hold your hand under your mouth. But it was perfect. And then there was like this frosting on it that was like super. It's like the frosting that hardens and like looks like a turtle shell, like beautiful, artistic. And then it had like little Valentine's Day like sayings on it, like I think mine said text me.
Anyway, welcome to the session, guys. This is Nick, Jess, and Ryan. We are introduced to Michaela. What's your last name?
Hunt.
Michaela Hunt, my apologies. She is a junior here at DC, and she is a comp sci degree, and then graphic design.
Yeah.
Cool.
Double.
That's sweet. All right. So, yeah.
I want to get back to the cookies. So what makes you a cookie snob? I mean, like, do you eat Chips Ahoy, or you're like, Chips Ahoy, no way.
Dude, okay. So we actually, like, my dad and I have always, like, had this thing. It was, like, always our bonding thing that we would make chocolate chip cookies all the time. I'm not allowed to make them as much anymore because, like, they're on a diet. But
I will eat them with you.
Dude, I literally just went home, like, last weekend, and I stole the kitchen. I took it over. And they were like, we need to make dinner. I was like, dinner is cookies. Sorry. I hate to break it to you.
I like the way you think.
And it was funny because they were like, are you going to be joining us for dinner? I was like, I just made dinner.
This is my dinner, thank you.
They honestly, like, kudos to them though. They have like crazy willpower when it comes to their diet because like the entire house smelled like cookies, and me and my dad were the only ones who ate them.
They didn't eat any?
Well, okay, I made my dad eat some because he's like ridiculously skinny. He's a CrossFit fiend, and he is so like he has 14% fat.
Okay.
And that's ridiculously low.
Don't look at me. I don't have any. What you looking at me for, Nick? I don't have any idea.
We have like this cool little like scale thing at our CrossFit gym, and like you take off your socks and it's like your bare feet, and then you have your hands, and then like you just kind of like T-pose, and it analyzes your body structure, and so it'll tell you how much you weigh by the bones, and it'll tell you how much muscle you have, where most of your muscle is, and it was really cool to see because my dad got shoulder surgery, so you could actually see the muscle like go away and then come back. Yeah.
So it actually shows the muscle?
Yeah. So it'll like break it down, and there's like a chart, and it'll be like, oh, your shoulders is like this percent, and your arms is this percent. So like I think my arms was like, I can't remember if it was like weight or whatever, but it was like 17% on my right and like 14% on my left. And they were like, that's kind of a big difference.
Really?
Oh, I'm right-handed.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you into CrossFit?
I was.
Okay, but
I actually, last summer, I got diagnosed with not one, but 3 vascular conditions.
Really?
Which means, my blood does not go to my brain easily. My body actually relies on fight or flight in order to get blood to my brain. So I am what is called hyperadrenic, which means I'm basically like those junkies that go to Cedar Point every single day.
You're literally running on adrenaline.
Exactly.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Yeah.
Isn't that like superhero stuff? Isn't that how like some superhero have that or something?
No.
Maybe not that condition, but they...
Well, you know what? I am kind of a superhero because I have had to, like, I literally went to therapy to separate the adrenaline from anxiety because I used to just be in a constant state of panic because I associated the feeling of adrenaline with anxiety.
That's the natural reaction. Naturally.
Exactly. So now that I've separated it, like my friend got a really bad cut the other day and she was bleeding a lot. And I was like, okay, let's go.
No way.
Let's go to the ER.
No way.
I've been known. People will look at me and be like, how are you so calm in these situations? And I'm like,
I came prepared.
Right.
I was born for this.
Right. And it's like, I've gotten, I don't know if you've seen on TikTok, but there are these ads that are like for this website that is like AI generated like research, and it puts together communities. And so the biggest issue that I have is called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And I am a part of,
Oh my gosh.
And I'm part of the community online. And it was funny because like you can post questions so that people can tell you like what helps and whatnot. And I actually posted on there, I was like, does anybody else experience like a lot of level-headedness in like bad scenarios. And someone was like, yeah, I almost drowned and people were freaking out. And I thought that was so weird.
No.
Yeah. It was like 80% of people agreed with me.
So I actually know someone who has POTS, and it's very rare. At least I think it was 15 years ago. Maybe it's now coming out more now.
Totally, absolutely. Like it's still one of those. There's about 8,700 people a part of that community online right now.
But I would say that's pretty small, though. I mean, because
it's like roughly 1 million people in the United States have it, I think. So it's
really,
like,
it's that high? You're just pulling that number out of the air.
No, I swear that was on the website.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, well, the website could be wrong. The website could be wrong.
I doubt it, but so it's not as rare as I thought.
It's really not.
Interesting.
I'm not going to out her, but there's another friend who I work with on campus, and she and I actually, like, she was my community before I got online, because she and I would just text each other and be like, I can't even get out of bed today. And so she's kind of been my support system through the whole thing. So I was really surprised by that too, because she was telling me about like all these things that were going wrong, and she passes out, which is something that I don't do.
That's the person I knew had the same problem. They'd pass out.
Yeah. So it's like, the way that it is POTS is basically, the hyperadrenic stuff. It's, when you stand up, your leg vessels actually contract with your heartbeat. Mine don't, for whatever reason. We're unsure if it's because the nerve message isn't getting sent or it's not being carried out. They don't know yet. But that's why my body relies on adrenaline, because I get so much blood pooling in my legs. But the other conditions that I have is, let's see, they call it neurocardiogenic syncope, but now it's called vasovagal syncope. And that's what my friend has really bad. That's actually passing out. And it's one of those things where, like, you're just sensitive. Like, the vasovagal nerve, I think it's somewhere around here.
Yeah, it is, because
Wait, somewhere around here, meaning explain, because they can't.
Somewhere, it's kind of like
the sternum area.
Sternum area. So sternum is basically kind of like middle of your chest.
Okay,
chest. You feel your chest bone. It's probably like right in the middle of that whole thing, above your lungs and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure.
And I'll admit I haven't done a whole lot of research on that. I did most of my research on POTS and read books on POTS and what stuff. But my friend, who she's actually like in cheerleading and stuff, she was just passing out. She actually had to get her driver's license revoked for a little while after she got diagnosed.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's really rough, because I haven't. The last time I passed out was in high school. So I've actually been pretty lucky when it comes to that stuff.
It's a different thing, because I don't have POTS or anything, but I'm anemic, so I'll be lifting.
Thing.
I'll be literally. It might as well be, because I have different vasovagal stuff. Like when I'll get blood drawn, boom, I am out like a light.
That's vasovagal.
And then like anemic or whatever, when I'm lifting weights, actually last time I was squatting or whatever, I almost had to bail, because I'm like, I can tell I'm going down. I need to put this down so I don't kill myself.
So what do you do when you feel that? I mean,
I have to just ride it out. There's nothing preventing it.
You can't. Do you lay down? Do you put your feet above your head?
I put my head between my legs when I can.
Okay.
Yep, that's what you're supposed to do.
And then usually I can tell, and I'll stop whatever I'm doing to try and prevent it. But I know so usually for me, my hearing goes out, my vision goes black, and then I'm out.
Yep.
Huh, same with you. Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. I mean, to me, it's
well,
I'm a normie.
Yeah. Right. And it's funny, because everybody who gets diagnosed with vascular conditions has an awful time. Like, I remember when I was younger, I had a lot of stomach pain, and that was probably the onset of it, because people with POTS have a lot of stomach pain. So I remember, like, I went to my doctor, and he was like, you need to go to therapy, because this is in your head.
No,
that's what I was told.
No, actually, I said that, but that's what happened to the person I know too. They thought it was up here. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I only just got diagnosed this summer, but it's been good, because like I know like the changes that I need to make. But one of the changes is I'm not allowed to do CrossFit. I am not allowed to do CrossFit. I'm not allowed to get in a hot tub. I'm not allowed to take hot showers.
You can't have caffeine yet either.
I
You
can't
can
have
only have like a
caffeine.
cup of hot chocolate and that's
Right.
healing.
He was like, he saw that I was on like ADHD meds like 2 years ago, and he was like, you need to get off that. I'm like, I've been off it, but thank you.
Yeah.
So what does caffeine do, Jess? I mean, what is?
It jacks your heart rate.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's an accelerator.
So
Well,
when
yeah,
I'm,
but why
when
would
I'm
that-
standing and walking, I'm at 135. When I exercise, I'm at 200 beats per minute.
Which is like drastically high. That's
It's
super
that could
high.
be a heart attack.
So you
going
can't
higher.
exercise. I mean,
It's like right now I'm in a really bad spot. I can't stand for more than 15 minutes at a time. So I haven't been able to even be like an ambassador on campus this semester. But
oh.
sorry, what were we?
I don't know. We really have been
Caffeine.
delving into your medical history, which was not
This
part
is
of the
our
plan when you
lovely
sat down.
guest here. Her medical history is somewhat deep, unfortunately.
Well, you know what's like actually funny though is brain fog is because I don't have as much blood going to my brain, so I have like short-term memory. So it's just like one of those things. Like as my friend, like my best friend, she's just totally used to me being like, "What were we talking about again?" And then she'll like just pick it up and stuff.
That's interesting.
It's super annoying. Like I can just tell that it's annoying.
So did you have this problem like? Did you know of these problems before you were diagnosed,
And like, did I know what was causing my problem?
or did you like your short-term memory? Was that ever a problem?
Honestly, I thought I was having seizures.
Really?
I did have a seizure actually.
You had a seizure.
I had what's called a partial seizure.
Oh, so you don't you don't get the full
Yeah,
presentation
so-
of them.
Back when I actually had a panic disorder for a while because of POTS, because I couldn't separate
Because you
the
couldn't
anxiety from
the adrenaline, yeah.
Right.
This is
So I had a panic
Be like a
disorder,
Criminal Minds episode
and
or something.
I had a panic
Not
attack,
Criminal Minds, but
and I actually seized up
one of
during
those-
it. Well,
what's
it's
the
weird
dog
because my
episode,
fingers
Rob?
like curled up, like, and like whenever I tried to like relax, they would just like curl up.
yes.
Oh,
And-
yeah, that's
Yes.
a seizure.
And my mom was talking to me, and I was talking to her, but she said what came out of my mouth was gibberish.
I betting,
understood
yeah.
what I was saying.
But yeah,
No
that's a
kidding.
seizure. That's
Yeah.
a seizure.
So I actually did
fascinating.
have a seizure, and I've gotten like 3 EEGs to try and diagnose seizures because I think I've had like 3 seizures. And my doctors were like, nothing is showing up. So I thought I was having seizures for a while, and I thought that I was having, they're called like, I forget what they're called. They're not partials. Partials are a totally different thing, but we thought I was having like these seizures where like I zone out because there are my school was like, hey, there's footage of you just standing in front of this door. And I'm like,
Oh, were you
no,
just like
I walked in that door, and they're like, no, you stood in front of it for like 5 minutes and then you walked into it.
So your brain is telling you something else.
Yeah.
Like you walked in, but you didn't, or what you were saying made sense, but it didn't.
Like my memory has like a fallout.
Almost like a dream.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is basically turned into a house episode.
Right.
You guys are familiar?
So anyway, this long explanation is why I don't do CrossFit anymore.
That was a long explanation that went from cookies to it. That's fascinating, though. I mean,
Yeah.
because I actually know someone who had it, and they had it here, and there was when it got worse, she would have to lay on the ground, and she
Yep.
would, like, her fingers would, like you said, they would clench or whatever, and yeah, she was, and. That's bizarre to hear somebody else say it. I've never bumped into anybody who even knew about it or whatever, so it's fascinating to me.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I'm one of those people who's like blessed because my mom is actually a nurse, and
Okay.
I used to read her textbooks just for fun. So I am very well articulated when it comes to that stuff.
So just for fun, but yet you're not doing anything medical.
No,
Hey,
there's no way. Are you kidding me?
Oh no,
You said
that's
just
like
for fun.
asking for.
Which one
Wait,
of you two
let
reads a
me
book?
let me ask you something, Michaela.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I started when I was like 5. My parents were both in the medical field for a while.
Yeah.
I used to watch like House and Dr. G's Medical Examiner and stuff like that. Did you used to watch shows like that and not be like a normal kid? Okay, well then maybe I'm just weird.
She read medical journals.
Yeah.
So yes, she was like, she just didn't watch the video version. She made the videos in her head.
I remember the day my mom started looking at me differently because I asked her, I was like, Mom, how come when I'm standing up, my heart doesn't like, fall on top of my bladder or like my stomach or something? And then she had to like explain to me that there are like these different things that like
Yeah.
hold your organs in place. And I think that was the day that she was like, Yeah,
I will still never understand that, to be honest. Gravity, who?
right. Well, and it's like, I mean, when I was like cutting open, in biology, when I like had to dissect a rat in like high school, I was like, oh, now I can tell, like, because you like have to cut through it, and it's like everything's just like properly packaged.
Yep.
Yes, it's wonderful. Somebody carefully packaged us before we were delivered.
Yes. So that's why you're not in pre-med, because you don't like the blood side of it?
That's kind of funny, because that's actually a recent development, is that I pass out around blood now.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's only recent, but I think I've just heard my mom's stories, because my mom, she worked on the neuro floor.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
No.
Oh, wow.
That sounds fun. No.
No, I'll tell you why it's not fun. So on the psych floor, you have they're not all crazy, but you have people who are trying to hurt themselves, or people who have like schizophrenia, or, like some very serious mental conditions. Now, you can't be on the psych floor if you need an IV. So if you are injured, need an IV, and are mentally,
unstable,
dangerous, unstable, that's a good word. You go to the neuro floor.
Oh,
my mom was like expected to like bodyguard. They were like, you need to keep him in his room. And she's like, he's 6 feet tall. He weighs 300 pounds. There's no way. Like, I'm not
if he's determined enough, there's nothing stopping him from body checking me.
Right. And it's like,
when you had said neuro, I was thinking like brain surgery.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. The neuro floor was also kind of like the place where like anything would just kind of float up to you. So she had a lot of people, a lot of people from like gastric bypass surgery, people who had neck surgery. She got tons of patients that she really shouldn't have.
This is a weird dichotomy to me, because you read medical textbooks, whatever, as a kid. You're obviously interested because you're well versed in your conditions. Mm-hmm. And you're going into graphic design and computer
science.
Yeah.
That just does not seem like it jives. So why computer science and graphic design?
Well, when I was in high school, small obsession of mine is the lore behind Five Nights at Freddy's.
Ooh.
I don't even know what that is. Should I know what that is?
It's our generation stuff, right?
Yeah, it's just like I think they came out when I was in middle school. But the last one. Well, I'm not sure if it was the last one.
Well, they blew up when we were in high school.
Yeah, they really did.
All right, time out. What is it?
Okay.
Oh,
it's like
Five Nights at Freddy's was a video game.
Chuck E. Cheese horror game.
Yes.
What?
That's the best way to explain it.
It popped up like mid 2015, somewhere around then.
I think Markiplier and Jacksepticeye really.
So it's a video game of some kind.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
I really admire this game
Horror?
because it has like a lot of psychology to it. It's about you, like in video games, usually you can move. You can't in this game. You have to keep yourself safe on battery lights and like flashlights.
Yep.
To give a quick okay, what is it? But basically, there is a couple nights you have to survive. So the first night,
yes.
And within horror games, you sometimes have like limited like motions and actions. So you can only do so many things to stay alive. And basically, you're trying to escape these like animatronic robots.
Okay,
that are,
like Chuck E. Cheese.
They're evil.
Okay, okay.
Chuck E. Cheese robots, and they're trying to kill you. So you have to kind of run away.
Happy birthday!
And it's like it's a really
kind
of like spooky scene because like the lights will flash, they'll be off. There's a lot of jump scare type of things. And
Okay. I think we got the base of it. Do we need to know more? Because do we need to know?
That's about it.
The only thing I would say is that it was really revolutionary.
To
the horror genre, just because it was a new angle that no one had ever taken.
Okay.
So I was really into that game, and I was like, man, like somebody created it. Like I think Scott Cawthon like created it on his couch. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's how it started out. And so I was like, that's amazing. I just want to have that skill. So I got into programming, and I've been in love with it ever since.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah.
Well, your dad is in the software-esque type of. He's not. No.
He's an engineer, but he edits some of the software.
So he edits. So that's where that ties in. Because I know Professor Naparella, before he has mentioned your dad, I'm like, oh, I wonder if he writes software. Because I got it from my dad. My mom actually is a nurse as well. My dad's a computer programmer and an engineer.
Okay, so that explains
So I totally get it from him.
What does your dad do?
Right now he just started working with a different company. He is think one of the most recent projects he started working on is actually, you know, like the interfaces that you have in elevators. He's starting to work on a touchscreen version of that. So people who are disabled or who cannot talk or hear can interact with people, especially if it, like, you know, if the elevator gets stuck, you can't scream. Like,
dude, did you see on TikTok over in January that people in Miami, Florida, they got stuck in an elevator after it fell 3 floors?
no,
Yeah,
that's
there were-
horrifying.
How many people were in there? It was a crowded elevator, but I saw it on TikTok and I was like, couldn't be me, because the second the firemen get in there, they're like, okay, you got to climb up. I'm like, I'm afraid of heights and I pass out, so you're carrying me.
I too am afraid of heights. I would take a nap until it
Well,
was,
and it's funny because like I totally argue with my mom about it all the time. I'm like, I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling.
I'm afraid of the sudden stop at the end.
Yeah,
Wow, so is there a difference in like the?
There's no. I agree
like,
with Nick.
What's it called? Like fear of heights versus like fear of falling.
I don't
Is that a
know
thing?
if that's a thing.
If I'm in a sturdy building and I'm at the top floor, I am not afraid. But if you ask me to go out on the balcony,
You're afraid.
I'm very
Because it's
scared.
open and you can feel the wind, and
that's
it's
a fear of
not
heights.
secure.
Well, and usually
This is 2 different things.
Oh, Nick.
Different things as he's holding up 3
Officially,
fingers.
fear of heights is considered acrophobia, which is a mental condition for the experience and intense fear of heights. Whereas we are looking at fear of falling, this is labeled as tophobia, PTOphobia. Phobic fear of falling and
Pterodactyl.
clinical management. So it's you can't keep yourself high, so you will fall.
I think mine comes from I fell down the stairs when I was 2, and I have a vivid memory of it because I smacked my head.
Wait,
really?
you were 2. There's no way
Yes,
you have a
there is.
vivid memory of
Yes,
being
there
core
is.
memory right there, if I've
it
ever heard of
literally
one.
is. That is my earliest memory. Ask my parents.
No, you can
I will
in the
give you their
comments
phone
below.
numbers.
Give me your opinion where you think Jess could have a memory at 2. Yes or no?
It is a traumatizing memory.
Maybe you were 4.
I was 2. When I was 3, I put a battery in my nose, and it was a dare, okay? I was at daycare. I put a battery in my nose. It burned battery acid in my nose. I had to have 3 surgeries. It was traumatizing.
It just surprised me. I shouldn't laugh at your pain.
No,
when you
it's
were 3.
hilarious. It's hilarious. I was a special kid.
Can I ask what size of battery?
It was a hearing aid battery. It was one of
Okay,
those
I was thinking.
What? Those are
Thinking a little
like,
double A's going on. Yeah,
thinking
no,
it
that's
was
bad.
yeah, I have a hole in my septum
as you
because
hold
of
up like a quarter size, like
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
that's
ones you put in a watch. Those are big.
yeah. Well,
And to follow the story, because Jess has told me it before, but she basically went on to not tell her parents out of fear.
yeah, I didn't tell my
this
parents. They're like, "Did you?" Because they noticed my because this is gonna get a little graphic. My mucus was not normal colored, you know. They're like, "Did you put something in your nose?" I'm like, "No," but 2 days, however long passed.
You held up for 2 days.
Oh, at least. And I'm like, my nose hurts. Because this kid, I still remember his name and everything. He dared me to put it in my nose. I'm like, well, my mother didn't raise a silly little goose. Okay.
My mother
well,
didn't
she
raise
did.
any fools, so yep.
Yes,
I'll put it
so
up there.
I will. And, well, here we are. I've got a hole in my septum still.
Oh my.
Really?
Apparently, it's still there. A couple years ago, I went to get like a general checkup because I had been sick. I want to make sure I was all good to come back and stuff like that. And they were like, "Do you know you have a hole in your septum?" I'm like, "I've got a funny story for you."
You have a watch battery-sized hole in your septum. Huh, how accurately described.
Yeah.
We definitely have at least 2 scripts for a house episode, so we're going to have to restart.
Yes.
This has been fascinating. We should probably wrap it up, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been a good discussion. Thank you again, Michaela, for coming.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Me.
Everybody now knows more about your medical history and how to be good.
Absolutely. So if I pass out, just don't step on me. I'm good.
Yeah. Just let it happen. Don't
Bring
need to
me
be
juice.
concerned.
Exactly.
I'll ride it out.
Oh, it just fell behind you. Did you?
That thing? We have a
funny when
foam
it
problem in the studio.
Yeah, there's a foam
see.
problem.
Well, if you'd like to catch Michaela, I know she at least goes to chess club, but she's very active on campus, so say hi to her if you see her. This has been The Session with Nick, Ryan, and Jess, and Michaela, so have a great day, all.
See ya.